It's Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. Earlier today, I was reading some comments on Facebook, and somebody had made a comment on yesterday's video, and I'm just going to paraphrase briefly here on it. But this individual says that I'm making half-bleep doomsday predictions based on half-truths that come from misrepresented terms and unexplained buzzwords. And, you know, I have to laugh when people like this say stuff because apparently they're not doing their due diligence. They're not reading about what's happening. I mean, people like this have to be living on another planet. Do you realize that there are 50 million people, 50 million people, jobless in the last 6 weeks, and millions more will be added to that toll on Thursday? I mean, how do people like this even tie their shoes? I'm shocked. And I'm not picking on anybody, but look, we are in a very serious situation regarding what is happening to this economy right here in the United States of America. 50 million people are jobless. The debt is ballooning out of control. The balance sheet with the Fed, the money printing. Somebody today said they don't believe in money printing. What's money printing? I mean, if you don't know by now about money printing, if you don't know how big the debts and the deficits are, you seriously need some help. You need to wake up, you need to get out of the coma, and you need to realize where we're all heading. And if people stay asleep, if they stay in their bubbles, if they stay in their comas, this country it's doomed, okay? And you know, these people who you know, love to accuse people like you and me, oh, it's just fear, it's doom and gloom. Look, I don't know what to tell you. All I can say is I'm praying for you to wake up, and I feel bad about what's going to happen to you when this economy implodes. And if you don't see it imploding right now, I just don't know how to be any more clear. But I'm going to go over more of these so-called half-truths and all these exaggerations and lies, and I'm going to let people make up their own mind. But there's an article today that came out with Chris Eilman, CIO of CalSTARS, the largest teachers' retirement fund in the United States of America. It's the 11th largest fund in the world, and I believe it's the second largest pension fund in America. Chris Eilman says this: "This market is divorced from reality. It does not make sense." And when you look at what's happening in this economy, we have an earnings recession taking place right now, an economic recession right now that is getting very close to a depression. We are in an employment depression right now. 50 million people jobless. We're in a health recession. But apart from all that, everything is fine. Keep buying the dips. Everything's going to be okay. The Fed is just going to continue to print money, and of course that will have no ill effect on your purchasing power. It's going to have no ill effect on the U.S. economy. Of course not. People can keep believing that all they want. As we're talking about people who are oblivious to reality, people who can't accept the truth, people who just want to push it off to the side and call it gloom and negative, and I don't have time for that. There's a good article on The Hedge today. It's titled, "Ordinary Americans Are Going to Get Super PO'd." And it's going to be these same people, the ones who said it could never happen, the ones who said it was too negative, the ones who said it was gloom. It's going to be these people who pay the dearest price. And it says here, how many Americans have a clue? Question mark. And it gives a bunch of words here, a bunch of words I want to go over with you. Municipal liquidity facilities, primary dealer credit facilities, primary and secondary market corporate credit facilities, money market mutual fund liquidity facilities, Main Street new loan facilities, expanded loan facilities, commercial paper funding facilities, currency swaps. See, most Americans, 99.5% have no idea what I just said. And it's these same people who have no idea, have no clue what is going on in these markets. They have no clue what they're up against. They have no clue what the dangers that their pensions are in, their 401ks, their money markets, their retirements, their stocks. They have no idea the danger that is lurking out there because they have no idea what I just said. The article goes on to say, besides the movement by keystrokes of money from one netherworld to another netherworld, both of these netherworlds on Wall Street, keystrokes. Remember, this money is literally just digits on a screen now. This is the illusion. And the people that are going to lose are the non-elite citizens. Their offspring's going to lose. Their offspring's going to lose. Real capital is grounded in the production of real things, of real value, and when it's detached from that, it's no longer real capital. Again, it's just keystrokes. We see big trouble as money is vanishing as fast as it's created. That's because it's based on promises to be paid back into existence that will never be kept. Your paycheck is gone. People, look, this is what's happening in America. People get a paycheck immediately. It's already spent. People are already behind. They're negative when they get their paycheck. You look at these paycheck places that you can go, cash your paycheck early in advance and pay 400%. This is the reality of America today. Somebody said today, don't bet against America. I'm betting against the debt. And if America keeps doing what it's doing, creating money out of thin air, digits on a screen, if the American consumer has to go and take payday loans and pay 400, 500% interest, America's going to lose. Bottom line, if America wants to continue creating massive debt bubbles, now approaching $25 trillion of debt, $150 trillion of debt of unfunded liabilities, Medicare, Medicaid, this pension crisis, and now a frozen economy. If you think America is going to get away with this forever, this is a newsflash to everybody. You know, people think because it's America, the dollar can't collapse. We can't turn into a Venezuela or a Zimbabwe because it's America. You know, history has taught us incredible lessons throughout time that there is no country immune from a collapse, from a currency collapse, from an economic collapse, from a social collapse. If you think that that can't happen here, you are drinking the Kool-Aid. You have been dumbed down. You have been conditioned. And I feel sorry if you believe that. But see, by believing just because it's America that it can't happen here, that makes the chances of it happening even greater. But by this recklessness, by this criminality that we're committing with our banks, the money printing, the debt, the deficits, this country basically living on a credit card, a service sector economy where everybody's buying things with money they don't have. If you believe this country is going to continue to be the world superpower and China isn't, you're in for a rude awakening. I don't want to see that happen. That's why I'm making these videos. This is why I'm trying to wake people up. I don't want to see America fail. I don't want to see America turn into a third world country. And I hate to give you the truth today, ladies and gentlemen, but take a good look around this country. You see tent cities popping up everywhere. I see people sleeping in their cars. I see people using the payday loans. I see thousands upon thousands of people now standing in food lines for food, driving nice cars. Look, this party is coming to an end, and when the music stops, we're going to find out who's real and who's not. And I got a news flash for everybody. There's going to be millions upon millions upon millions of people in this country that are in for a rude awakening who are going to be devastated. People are getting destroyed financially, yet the stock market goes up. And at some point, are people going to connect the dots? Are they going to add 2 + 2 and go, hey, that 0.001% on Wall Street making billions of dollars, I'm losing my house, my car, I can't make my credit card payments, my credit's been destroyed, I have no money in the bank, bill collector's calling, but the stock market's up and people are living the life of Riley. At that point, does America wake up and realize that they've been bamboozled? And at that point, do we see some kind of unrest taking place? Is some type of disorder going to come? I don't know. Or will people just accept it as they're accepting it right now? I guess only time will tell. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't make that prediction. But right now, the way people just sit in these bubbles, asleep and comatose, I don't know. Maybe, you know, when they lose their pensions, maybe when the EBT and the SNAP checks stop showing up, is that when people finally realize that they've been hustled, they've been bamboozled? Is this when they're going to finally, you know, demand something to be done? I don't know. Here's another article. And so it begins. Food theft attack. Guy hits 77-year-old woman with metal pipe. Check that out on the internet. There's a video on this. And, you know, just A month ago, we were told that these were the best times, the booming economy. And now we have 77-year-old women with pizzas in her hand being hit with a pipe because somebody needs to steal her pizzas. This brings me to this. Number one asset is security. This economy is collapsing, no doubt, 100%. They can tell you anything they want. They can spin this. They can do whatever they want to do. This economy is in collapse mode right now. Food shortages have begun, and they're going to become more common. Food prices are going to continue to go up. And, you know, we're going to see more crime. Your biggest threat is not this infection. The biggest threat that you and I have now is this collapsing economy, because there are going to be two-legged animals running all over who are going to want to take your food, who are going to want to take your assets, may want to take one of your family members. We're going to have some very, very bad people running around inflicting harm. And when you look, and look, we're only, what, 6, 7 weeks into this whole thing, and a 77-year-old woman beaten with a pipe while this individual stole her pizza. And again, it's all you have to do is look at what's happening to your environment. Look at the homeless population booming. Look at the tent cities. Look at people sleeping in their cars. Look at the amount of people now having to move in together just to make ends meet. How many people are working 2 or 3 jobs if they can? And now the economy's frozen, it's going to really hinder things. Another article today, it's titled, "Texas Back in Business, Barely, Restaurants Empty." Now make sure you verify this stuff, because there's people out there that believe that this isn't real, that these are half-truths, that this is just doomsday, that this is all fake. So make sure you verify this. It says here, the Domain Mall in Austin, Texas is open for business. The 100 upscale stores were dead. Chaser clothing stores said absolutely no one is coming around. And, you know, when stores like this and malls like this are dead, you have to remember that the entire state isn't even completely open. It's very limited. So you would think that the ones that are open, that people would be flocking to the open stores just to get out. And because so much of the state is still closed, that people would just at least be out walking around at the stores that are open. But no, they're dead. Here's another article on CNBC. Nearly a fifth of Wendy's U.S. restaurants are out of beef, analyst says. That's on CNBC. I'm sure most people have heard of that. So make sure you verify these stories, because they might not be real. They might be fake, made up, doomsday theories. Anyways. Again, make sure you check that out. 1,043 Wendy's have listed beef items out of stock. Get ready to pay more when you go out to eat, because beef is going to skyrocket wherever you go, whether it's at McDonald's or Wendy's, or you're going to a nicer takeout for a nicer piece of beef. You're going to pay for it. Grocery store too. Everything is going up, including your hamburgers. Consumer debt hits new record of $14.3 trillion. That's on CNBC today, right there. You know, again, I'm doing everything I can to wake people up. I'm just sounding the alarm, because I love this country. I care about you. I care about my brothers and sisters of America. And I don't want to see people get hurt. And when you look at this debt, again, don't worry about the infection. What you better be worrying about is this debt, what's going to happen to this economy. People just believe that the Fed can print money forever, and this whole thing is going to go on for the next 100 years. It is not going to work out that way. Household debt has now risen to $14.3 trillion. You know, ask yourself, if the economy was booming, if it was doing so well, why are we seeing so much debt? Why isn't debt being paid down? Why isn't the U.S. government paying its debt down? It cannot. It is out of control. We cannot stop spending. And now we have 50 million people out of work and a frozen economy. This is going to have severe consequences to the future of this country. Just to go back to this debt of $14.3 trillion, that's $1.6 trillion higher than the record set in the middle of the last financial crisis of 2008. Student loan debt now totals $1.54 trillion. 10.8% of the debt was 90 days or more delinquent. Now you have to ask yourself, these people who have all this student loan debt, what are they going to do for work? We have 50 million people out of work right now in a frozen economy. What are these people going to do for work? We know before this whole collapse started 6-7 weeks ago that a lot of these people were working at Starbucks. They were working at McDonald's. They were working at Taco Bell. They were working in the service sector industry with $40, $50, $60, $80,000 of student loan debt. How is this ever going to get paid back? And now we are going to have less jobs in 2020, less jobs in 2021. And we're going to have real big problems here. And I don't know how these people are ever going to pay this back. United Airlines to slash 30% of management jobs starting in October. Right there. So they already know that people aren't going to be flying like they once did. They know that this economy is going to get much worse. As Jerome Powell said last week, the economic data now coming out is far worse than any data we have seen for the economy. This is what 20 years of stimulus-driven economic growth based on blowing up and sustaining bubbles through easy money has caused. And now it's gotten worse with the nation's economy being frozen. What has taken place is catastrophic. 50 million unemployed and more coming. Many politicians continue to pretend that the cost of the shutdowns is minimal or insignificant. Remember, I think this is going to cost us around $6.6 trillion. And it's going to get bigger than that. We are now going to pay a huge price for all the unemployment we now have. People not only are losing their standard of living, but their health is being affected. You know, stress is a killer. Imagine, and many of you are probably in a situation now where you've fallen behind on a payment or rent or, you know, car payment, and stress is a killer. There's no doubt about it. Alcohol use has increased. People are eating less quality food. They're forced to eat, you know, fast food. And, you know, when you look at the health of the average person today, nearly half this country now is obese. This whole unemployment issue is going to affect family, friendships, and relationships. We see drug use is up. Suicide is up. Suicide is 40% higher with somebody who's unemployed versus somebody who is employed. So make sure if you know somebody who's lost a job, been laid off, a family member, a friend, make sure you check in, make sure you give them a call, make sure you see them, and make sure everything is all right. You know, we have a duty to make sure that our friends, our family members, our loved ones, you know, members of our church, whoever, that we're looking out for them. So, you know, make sure, you know, a phone call or a text goes a long way. But I'm going to leave it right there today. So much going on, so much taking place. Again, stock market up, 50 million unemployed. Many people. I think one of the most shocking things, and something that surprises me more than probably anything, is we have a frozen economy with 50 million people unemployed right here in America, and people still believe everything is okay. That I will never understand. People believe everything is okay. I don't think they understand the magnitude, but a frozen U.S. economy with 50 million people not working is a catastrophe, and it's going to have huge economic consequences going into the summer of 2020, into 2021. So, I mean, it's going to be an absolutely crazy summer. I can't even begin to imagine what's going to happen next. But at some point, people will wake up, but it will be too late. By the time they do wake up, they will be wiped out. Make sure you're not one of them. God bless every one of you guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it with everybody, even the trolls. God bless.